Guys, so how are we all doing? Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin evening wrap for the day. So today is one of those days where we get reminded just how scammy this market can be. So yeah, if you guys wouldn't mind quickly smashing that like button, we will go over to discuss the scamminess that is Bitcoin. So yeah, I was watching obviously this in real time, watching us break out to the upside, and I mean I literally was fully expecting it. I said it as we were breaking up in actually the Telegram chat. I said, like, just look out for the dump, or some words to that effect anyway. If we go over to the 5-minute chart, I mean, you can see basically exactly what happened. Like, we had obviously the break, the move up, You'd have people basically hitting their stops if they were short, basically people hitting momentum longs, and then bang, look at that for an absolute insane savage wick down to basically 11,600. So we rallied up to what is this, 11,000, we call it 11,250, and then we went down to, we'll just call it 11,650. So a $600 can like wick down, which is just basically the disgustingness that is Bitcoin. There's nothing else we can really say about it, really. It's just pure scam. And then literally a few 5-minute candles later, we are basically at that high. We consolidate and then we push on upwards. What can we say? Guys? This is just yeah, what can I say? There's nothing to say. You don't really see this in real markets. Yeah, to be honest, I'll stand by that. In real markets, you don't really see stuff like that. But in obviously our tiny little manipulated crypto land, it is just par for the course. So yeah, anyway, that aside, if we look at a 4-hour candle, it doesn't look so bad. If you looked at a 4-hour candle, you'd actually assume we just had a liquidity hunt to the downside before rallying up, not a liquidity hunt to the upside, a liquidity hunt to the downside, and then, well, I mean, it's not necessarily a liquidity hunt because we go back up and stay there, but then go back up and stay there. That 4-hour candle obviously does not tell the story. That's why we went down to that 5-minute candle, so we could see. But anyway, so what are we looking for now? What is going to happen now? What can we look for now? So one of two things will happen. We will either basically form a bull flag here, like we are roughly doing, and then make another move, make another leg up, or we will start to drift down, and we will come and try and test this horizontal level that we broke out from test that as support. So that is it, really. I don't really see there it being we're staying in this range, because we have got quite a bit of volatility. We'll have a bit of movement. If I did have to guess which way, you've always got to have an upward bias, basically. So I was saying this morning, you have to have the upwards bias. You have to give the benefit of the doubt to the upside. I was actually saying I thought the stochastics were a bit mixed messaging, but then when I actually subsequently went and looked through them right at that time, I then changed my mind and said, you know what, I'll take that back. These are looking pretty good. These are looking pretty bullish, and yeah, there you go. And yeah, we got the move up. But yeah, again, I mean, so basically all my point really is that you just have to give the trend its due respect, and back that to bull flag us out and continue upwards. But obviously that will, the longer we come on for and don't make a move or drift down or however we do, the longer that, well, the more that will invalidate what we are forming as a bull flag, or a bull flag that is going to break out. So yeah, so that is that. If we have a look at Bitcoin dominance, believe it or not, guys, believe it, the 9 candle, we did we had a nice move up. We're obviously retracing that now, and whilst that does look like a big move up, it literally was only the same move up we had the other day, and the same move basically pretty much the same move we had the day before and the day before. So what I'm kind of saying is the range of these candles and the movement within them is basically the same. So nothing really of note there, in all fairness. So on the basis, Bitcoin is now trading quite a bit higher. we are not really doing much difference in the BTCD. So that is obviously incredibly bullish for altcoins. And yeah, I mean, if Bitcoin takes another leg up, I mean, if it takes another leg up, I clearly would expect us to come up and test properly and maybe hang around this level for a little bit before we decide what we're doing, Bitcoin wise, direct, like movement wise. But yeah, but that is not necessarily the not necessarily what is actually going to happen. So maybe Bitcoin is just going to consolidate, test that 12k region of support, and then in which case I would fully expect Bitcoin dominance to make a move to the downside. We'll have a look at this on the 4 hour. Yeah, I mean, you can see that was obviously the bounce from Bitcoin's move on the 4 hour. So yeah, we will have a look at also the dollar index, because it is doing as we fully expected. We did have some 9s, didn't we? We had basically, this was a 9, and we had a daily 9, I think, down here, didn't we? So we had the daily 9 there, and so that rally price, we started to come back down again. We then got caught by the 4 hour 9, which was here, and actually we have a 4 hour 9 here, but we are looking to be taking out the low of it. I would probably look for the low of this 8 candle for an actual just for the continuation sell, and obviously the high of this 9 candle for a buy off this buy basically off this 4 hour 9. But obviously you guys know my bias, you know what I think is going to happen here. I do think we are going to come down. Nasdaq, let's look at that crazy crazy Nasdaq. Let's go on to here, so we can have a look at the Nasdaq, which basically closed on all-time highs, ATHs, marginally. So there you've got it. Yeah, there you've got it. I mean, like I said, we are likely to stay in this channel until we don't, and you've always got, again, trend is your friend. You just have to back the channel, back that we're going to stay in it, because you will make more money in the times that you are correct when we stay in the channel than you will when we lose and we drop out if you are a position. But obviously you'll have you stop, so your downside will be limited anyway. So look at that craziness. We'll have a look at the S&P as well. I mean, if that is not an ascending triangle, I don't know what is. At an important level, you can see we've got a drawn in here. If I go to a daily, you will see that level is coming from across here. So ascending triangle at basically round about the all-time highs. What do you think is going to happen? And if we have a look at the moving average posture as well, we're not a million miles away from this daily 21, so we can fully have a nice big push up. Clearly, look, you can see how far away we got from the daily 21 here. We're not far away from it at all. So it's looking like all systems go. Oil, I won't get oil up, but oil is going back up. Silver is at about $27.50. Gold not performing as well, so I'm guessing this gold-silver ratio is starting to look like it wants to move down again, which would be very much welcomed, especially if gold moves up. If gold moves, because obviously you can do the maths, it's just a simple equation, isn't it? If gold moves up, the gold-silver ratio moves down, that means silver is flying, and that is the one. That's the one that I got, loads of. Yeah. Yeah, so back over... Back over to that scammy market that is Bitcoin. It's just crazy, isn't it? I still just don't believe. It's just crazy, isn't it, guys? But anyway, I mean, we saw a similar thing here, I guess, but this is not quite as similar, because we moved up, and then eventually we got rejected. I mean, that is not as bad as basically moving up in one candle, getting rejected straight back down, and then moving straight back up. It's crazy. 4 hour Stokes anyway. 4 hour Stokes, as you can see, moving up, but looking a bit shaky, looking a bit toppy up here, which is interesting to say how vicious a move we've had up. So 4 hour Stokes are already starting to wane. Which could precipitate. I can't seem to say that word. Precipitate a move to test the 12k as support, which is perfectly reasonable, and you would want to see that level. I have been saying this whole move up that we need to test somewhere as proper support, and it was either to come down and test this 10,500, as you guys know I said, or it was to break above here and then come and test this as support. So now we've broken above. If we can pull out this range and test this as support, then I'm happy with the fact that we are not basically a house of cards, as it were. 10 hour stochastics, you can see looking toppy. 12 hour though looking good though. Again, remember guys, 12 hours looking good. It's been looking good for a while. I mean, this would tell me, well, if I didn't already have an upward bias, which I do, just because the trend, that would tell me that we are going to get another move upwards. But not necessarily the case. Daily Stokes as well, as you can see, they are turning up as well. Are they going to meet this sort of like short-term trend line and get rejected? Well, if price gets rejected, they will. But as we stand at the moment, that momentum is to the upside. 3-day leveled off. 3-day has leveled off, and obviously weekly is not going to do anything, but it is looking really good, and monthly is looking really good. So well, if monthly is going to load, so we're clearly in a bull market. I mean, that's it. That is it. It's confirmed. It is basically confirmed as far as I'm concerned. I will be treating this as we are in a bull market. I will be treating this as a playing out of our descending broadening wedge, which I basically said a while back. We obviously saw the consolidation to down off the 9, and I think we basically, well, here's a target. I wrote on here what it was. The average move from a breakout is 38%, and the statistical chance of breaking out is basically nearly 80%. So we'll call it 40 and 80. So the average move is 40%. The chance of breaking out is 80%. So we've broken out anyway, so I can ignore that bit. So we're looking for a 40% move from obviously the breakout point, which was, well, I mean, for the sake of argument, we'll just call that 10,000. So a 40% move will be 14,000, which is why I've got the arrow pointed to 14,000. Would you believe it? And that obviously is in line with these levels here. So maybe we're just going to trundle our jolly way up to 14,000, and then play a bit of a more severe, well, not necessarily severe pullback, just maybe a consolidation just out of that high. Maybe between where we are now, between 12,000 and 14,000, will be our new level, our new sort of range. So that on this chart here, it basically would be what I've got marked in. So it would be basically this 12,000 ish here and this 14,000 here. So is this the new range for Bitcoin for a minute, for a hot minute? Let's just go to, well, no, actually, no, sorry, I wanted to stay on the weekly. Here's the weekly. Let's just zoom out. Is this still a range? I mean, it would look good to me. This is the major horizontal, and this is I mean, once we get past this, there's nothing. I mean, this doesn't count for me as anything really. This is just the top of a parabolic blow off top. I mean, this is obviously similar, but it has more confluence with the levels here. But yeah, is this going to just be a new sort of consolidate at this range? Bang, 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 and then bang. That would be my guess, you know. That would be my guess, guys. Just because it's a major commitment getting over 14,000. It's a major commitment because once we get over 14,000, we're committing ourselves to 30k plus Bitcoin basically. We are. That's like that's the Rubicon. That's the point of no return. That's the die is cast. Once we to use as many quotes from Julius Caesar as I can. We are basically going to. Yeah, we are basically just gonna find our way to at any point where we decide we're gonna come and stop, like this move up here. I mean, to be honest, this did coincide with well, basically institutions being able to short Bitcoin, so that's clearly what happened there. But yeah, so realistically though, the sky will be the limit. So what I am saying is that I fully expect there to be a play around in this range, and it's quite a nice wide juicy range. When I say that, I mean we can get wicks above, we can get wicks below this range, we can get wicks still down to 10,500. We're looking at a weekly chart here, mind you. We can still get wicks over to 15,000, 15,500, but I suspect the majority of the price action, I would even guess really until, well, this is a weekly chart. I'm looking at this, guys. I'm really thinking like until next year, because this is where I'm basically thinking it can play around about this much. So we are, I believe until basically the start of next year, we could just be in this zone, which which I am positioned for this as well. I'm positioned basically mainly in altcoins for Bitcoin sideways action, and if we traded sideways like this until the start of next year, there is going to be some unbelievable altcoin trades. That is something to bear in mind. Yeah, basically that's something to bear in mind. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. I mean, we are looking for something different here. Well, obviously we had this blow off top and then smash back down. We had this blow back up and smash back down, even to a certain extent but we know what this was. But now if we want to basically have another good pop, we want to put in a nice base, a nice support base around here, and then we'll go for our pop. Yeah, you're loving all the trading, the technical trading terminology here, aren't you, in this video? But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. That is what I'm thinking. Everything is majorly bullish. I think we'll play out this range. This is a weekly chart. Bear in mind this is a weekly chart. So like if you looked in this level here, where you could say, okay, we're going to trade this range for a bit, which we clearly did for quite a long time. We had some big moves from the top of the range was about what we'll call it 11.5. We did get some moves up to basically nearly 14k. We got some moves down out of it down to 9k, but realistically this was the box. Do you know, why can I not find how to draw where the box is? It's just, I should know. Is it just on generic drawing tools? I don't know. Cause you see, I got no excuse. I'm lost. Yeah, basically, I was just gonna draw you a box here, so you can see we have some downward movement, some upward movement. So all I'm trying to communicate to you guys is that this could be the new box here. This sort of level, this sort of range for this amount of time, and we could just be playing ping ball in here, getting people excited thinking we're going to come back up, slam us back down, getting people, well, the opposite of excited thinking, unless you're a bear, getting excited thinking we're going to come down here, and then bang, we get back up, and we just play some absolutely amazing trading ranges for the traders out there. So yeah, that's it, guys. Not too much else to say here. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is clearly just crystal ballism, if that is even a real thing. But yeah, that's kind of my views, what I'm thinking. That's what I'm looking at in the short term. Probably to the upside. I think we will stay in this level. I think we are confirmed bullish. We are confirmed macro bullish. Any pullbacks especially severe pullbacks, they will be bought back. They'll be bought back up. No one with any brains or any soul about them or any large amount of Bitcoin is thinking, right, I need to sell at these levels now. They are thinking, I'm holding this supply out of the market. I'm going to hold this Bitcoin and just going to let the everybody else FOMO in and try and buy whatever limited Bitcoin they can grab off exchanges and use that buying up that limited supply just to buy up the price, and then that whale liquidity may come and try and sell once we have some sort of a blow off top. That's what I would be thinking if I was a whale. So there we go, guys. So remember, again, not financial advice. Always do your own research, and I will speak to you guys again in the morning.